They did not just laugh at her, they pushed her. The drums were beating like a heartbeat in the middle of the square, dust rising from the dancers' feet, wrappers swirling red and gold under the string lights. The harvest festival in Umueze smelled of roasted corn and palm oil and sweat and joy, and for one foolish second, 17-year-old Adanna thought she could be part of it. She had stepped into the circle with her hands shaking. Her only dress washed for 3 nights straight in a plastic bucket until the faded blue cotton tore a little more at the shoulder. She had no shoes. Her hair was packed in 2 small cornrows her neighbor helped her plait that morning because she could not afford the salon. She smiled anyway, because music had always been the one place where being an orphan did not feel like a crime. Then Chioma stepped in front of her. Chioma, the village queen bee, daughter of the chairman, wearing a sequined lace gown that cost more than Adanna's aunt, made in 3 months in Port Harcourt. Chioma looked Adanna up and down, from her cracked heels to her patched hem, and curled her lip. Euruku. Who invited the mad girl? She said, loud enough for the drums to pause. Is this a dance circle or a charity case? Someone snickered. Then another. Chioma put one manicured hand on Adanna's chest and shoved. Not hard enough to bruise, just hard enough to humiliate. Adanna stumbled backward out of the circle, her bare foot catching on a stone, her arms windmilling for balance. The crowd roared with laughter. A boy shouted, Go and sew your rags, Adanna. A woman who sold akara at the junction covered her mouth, but her shoulders shook. The DJ, Chioma's cousin, scratched the music back in, and Chioma flipped her weave and danced exactly where Adanna had stood, as if erasing her. Adanna stood outside the light, clutching the torn edge of her dress, heat climbing up her neck, her eyes burning with tears she refused to let fall. In her left palm, tucked deep inside the tiny hidden pocket her mother had sewn into every dress before she died, something heavy and cold pressed against her skin. A ring, a signet ring she had told no one about. She closed her fist around it until it hurt. If you are listening to this story for the first time, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, stay with me until the very end, and comment below where you are listening from so I can see you know where you are listening from. She was not always the girl in rags. 6 years earlier, Adanna lived in a 2-room face me, I face you in Ozuoba, just off the east-west road in Port Harcourt. The city was loud with generators and keke horns and church speakers, and life was a daily hustle. Her mother, Loveth, sold recharge cards and pure water by the junction. Her father had died in a rig accident when she was 4, and Loveth raised Adanna with a fierceness that made poverty feel temporary. Loveth's dream was simple. Adanna, you will wear a white uniform, she would say, tapping her daughter's chest. You will be a nurse. You will not beg. You will help. Adanna believed her. She carried that dream like a lamp. She fetched water before school, hawked groundnuts after school, and still came first in her class at community secondary school. Her teacher, Mr. Emeka, a thin man with glasses taped at the bridge, called her his small brain. He lent her old textbooks and told her she had the kind of kindness that made people remember her name. Then the sickness came. It was fast and cruel. Typhoid that turned to complications. Lovett spent 2 weeks in UPTH, and on the 14th day, she squeezed Adanna's hand and whispered, Do not let the world make you hard. She died that night with hospital bills unpaid. Adanna was a laver. There was no family money, no insurance. The landlord locked their room after 2 months of unpaid rent. Social welfare sent her to her mother's elder sister in Diobu, Auntie Ifeoma, who already had 4 children in a single room and a husband who drank. That house taught Adanna what struggle really meant. Auntie Ifeoma was not wicked in the way Nollywood shows. She was tired. She woke at 4 to fry akara, She shouted to be heard. She loved her children first because there was not enough love to go around. Adanna became the house girl without the title. She washed plates, swept the compound, braided her cousin's hair, carried basins of gari from Mile 1 market, and slept on a mat by the kitchen door. Her dream of nursing did not die. It hid. She saved every 50 naira tip from running errands in a Milo tin. She studied under the yellow bulb at night while mosquitoes sang in her ears. She wrote JAM in SS3 with money Mr. Emeka secretly contributed, and she scored 278. She had admission on the table from the School of Nursing in Eleme, but no school fees, no sponsor, no guardian signature. Auntie Ifeoma's husband said, "Who will marry you if you are too educated? Go and learn tailoring." That was the first betrayal that cut deep. The second was Chioma. Chioma was Auntie Ifeoma's neighbor's daughter, who had moved back from Lagos after her father became a local government chairman in their home village of Umueze. Chioma had an iPhone, Brazilian hair, and a tongue sharpened on Instagram comments. When Adanna came to plait hair for small money, Chioma would film her cracked slippers and post with captions like "Village Help." When Chioma's family decided to do the Harvest Festival big that year, Auntie Ifeoma sent Adanna to the village to help cook, clean, and serve. "At least you will eat meat," she said. Adanna packed her 2 dresses in a Ghana must-go bag and entered the bus to Umueze with her Milo tin of savings tucked in her bra. Her goal had not changed. Become a nurse, leave the mat by the kitchen, make her mother's words true. But every day in that village, the goal felt farther. Umueze was beautiful and brutal. The red earth, the udala trees, the elders in Isiagu, also the gossip. The women at the stream whispered when Adanna fetched water in her faded dress. The boys called her PH girl like an insult. Chioma made sure of it. She appointed herself Adanna's mirror, reflecting only shame. "Adanna, go and wash my wrapper," Chioma would order. "Adanna, pack that refuse." "Adanna, your hair looks like broom." Adanna swallowed it. She had learnt in Diobu that answering back cost food. She kept her head down and her hands busy. At night, she would press her forehead to the cold wall of the room they gave her behind the kitchen and whisper, "I will wear white. I will help people. I will not become hard." Mama Nkechi, the widow who sold akara by the school gate, became the only soft place in Umueze. She would slip Adanna extra akara wrapped in newspaper when Chioma wasn't watching and whisper, "Your head is not for carrying shame, my daughter. It is for carrying a crown." Adanna would thank her with tears she hid quickly. Mr. Emeka called every Sunday from Port Harcourt, his voice crackling on the small technophone. Auntie Ifeoma allowed her to borrow. "Adanna, have you read chapter 3? He would ask. "Have you kept your notes clean?" He did not know she was sleeping on a floor mat, or that her nursing admission letter was now folded inside her Bible to keep it from rats. He believed in her so fiercely it hurt. Sometimes at night, when the village was asleep, Adanna would open the Milo tin and count the money again. 2,850 naira. Not enough for even one textbook. She would think of her mother's hands, rough from washing other people's clothes, and feel the old anger rise. Why did good people die poor? Why did girls like Chioma get everything for doing nothing? The questions burned, but she pushed them down. She had promised her mother she would not become hard, so she prayed instead. She prayed for a way, for a door, for a miracle that did not require her to sell her body or her soul. She did not know that the miracle had already sat in the dust at Inko Market, wearing rags heavier than hers. It was in that week before the festival that everything shifted. She had gone to the Enko Market in the neighboring town to buy stockfish for Chioma's mother. The sun was wicked. She was counting her change carefully when she saw him near the yam stalls. An old man, maybe 70, in a dirty kaftan that had once been white, slumped against a wheelbarrow. His beard was matted, his feet swollen, his eyes cloudy. People stepped around him. A market boy kicked his leg and said, "Shift, old man." Adanna's stomach growled. She had not eaten since morning. She had exactly 1,200 naira left for transport back. The mama put suya in front of her, and the smell almost made her cry. She looked at the old man again. He was not begging. He was just breathing hard, like the heat would kill him. Something her mother said rose in her chest. Do not let the world make you hard. Adanna bought 2 wraps of moi moi for 400 naira and a sachet of cold water for 100. She knelt in the dust beside the man and offered it with both hands, the way Lovett taught her to give to elders. Papa, Biko, eat, she whispered. He looked up slowly. His eyes, despite the cloudiness, were strangely clear and piercing. He took the food with trembling fingers. He did not eat immediately. He studied her face, her torn slippers, the careful way she shielded the food from dust with her palm. Why? He asked, his voice hoarse. Adanna shrugged, embarrassed. You looked hungry. I know what hunger does. He ate slowly, with dignity. When he finished, he drank the water and sighed. What is your name? Noam. Adanna. Adanna, he repeated, as if tasting it. Do you know what that means? Father's daughter. She smiled sadly. My father is dead. He nodded. He reached into the folds of his dirty kaftan and pulled out a small cloth bundle. He unwrapped it with care. Inside was a ring, heavy gold, with a deep red stone and an engraving of a leopard head, the ancient symbol of the Eastern Kingdom. Adanna's eyes widened. Papa, I cannot take this. Sell it and eat. The old man laughed, a sound that did not match his rags. I have eaten because of you. This is not payment. This is trust. Keep it for me for 7 days. If I do not return to you at the village square during the harvest festival, then it was meant for you. Do not show it to anyone until that day. Promise me. She wanted to argue. The ring looked like something from a museum, but his eyes held hers. There was authority in them, hidden under the beggar's mask. Promise me, Adanna. I promise, she whispered. He slipped the ring into her palm and closed her fingers over it. His hand was warm. The world will mock your rags, my daughter. Let them. Gold does not rust. She bought him a keke ride back toward the town center with her remaining money and walked the 5 kilometers back to Umweze under the sun. Her feet burning, the ring hidden in her mother's secret pocket. She told no one. Not Auntie Ifeoma, not Mr. Emeka when he called to check on her, not even the diary she kept in her Milo tin. For 7 days she carried it, feeling its weight every time Chioma insulted her, every time she was sent to fetch water at midnight, every time she remembered her admission letter gathering dust. Each insult from Chioma felt like a small stone dropped into her pocket with the ring. By the 6th day, her pocket was heavy with both. She wondered if the old man would remember her face among thousands in Umueze tonight. Now, on the night of the festival, with the drums pounding and Chioma dancing in her stolen spot, Adanna's fist tightened around that same ring. She wanted to run. She wanted to disappear into the cassava farm behind the square. But something in her, maybe her mother's voice, maybe the old man's, said stay. The music changed. The talking drums rolled into a pattern Adanna recognized from childhood, the royal pattern. The crowd parted as a convoy of black SUVs crawled into the square, dust swirling in their headlights, something that never happened in Umweze. Doors opened. Men in dark uniforms with red caps stepped out. Royal Guard. The village chairman, Chioma's father, rushed forward, wiping sweat, bowing low. The tallest guard raised a hand. Silence fell so fast the cricket sounded loud. A man in a white isiagu stepped forward with a brass staff, the town crier. His voice boomed over the speakers. People of Umueze and the Eastern Kingdom, by order of the palace, His Royal Majesty Eze Igwe II has lost his signet ring 1 week ago while walking among his people in disguise. The kingdom cannot seal land treaties, cannot sign peace with the oil companies, cannot open the new hospital until the ring is returned. The king decrees, whoever brings forth the true signet at the harvest festival tonight shall be granted one royal wish and the honor of the throne. A gasp rolled through the crowd like wind through corn. Chioma's eyes lit up with greed. She turned to her friends and hissed, "My father knows the palace blacksmith. We can fake it." Adanna's heart stopped. The old man, the beggar, the 7 days, tonight. Her palm was sweating around the gold. The leopard head pressed into her skin. The guard commander shouted, "Bring forth the ring now, or the kingdom waits in shame." Chioma pushed forward, pulling a fake gold ring from her purse, shouting, "I found it! I am the one." Two other girls scrambled, holding up cheap market rings, yelling lies. The crowd surged. The drums stopped. The royal guard raised their rifles. And Adanna, the girl in rags they had just pushed out of the circle, stood frozen at the edge of the light, the true signet burning hot in her closed fist. Her whole future balanced on whether she dared to step forward and be mocked again, or stay hidden and watch liars steal her destiny. The rifles did not fire. They rose. The royal guard lifted their black guns in one sharp motion, and the whole square of Umueze went silent, except for the generator humming behind the DJ booth. Chioma stood in the middle of that silence, holding up a gold-colored ring she had pulled from her small purse, her arm shaking just enough for the sequins on her sleeve to catch the light. "I found it near the stream 3 days ago," she shouted, her voice too high. "I'm the one the king is looking for." Her father, Chairman Okoro, stepped beside her, chest out, smiling like a man already counting favors. Two other girls pushed forward behind Chioma. One held a thin market ring with a red plastic stone. The other held a brass ring that looked like it came from a cotton rod. They were all shouting at once, "Me! I have it! I have it!" Adanna did not move. She stood at the edge of the light, with her left fist still closed around the true signet. The gold was warm now from her sweat. The leopard head dug into her palm. Her heart beat so loud she was sure the guard in front of her could hear it. The guard commander, a tall man with a scar across his left cheek, did not smile. He took Chioma's ring between two fingers like it was dirty. He turned and walked to the man in the white isiagu holding the brass staff. The staff was old, dark with age, and at its top was a hollow circle, shaped exactly like a leopard's open mouth. The town crier lifted the staff high. "The true signet seals the mouth of the leopard," he announced. "Only the king's ring fits. Only the king's ring turns." He slid Choma's ring into the hollow. It clattered and fell straight through to the dust. The crowd made a small sound. Not quite a laugh. Not quite a gasp. Choma's smile cracked. "Wait, maybe it needs..." The commander already tested the second girl's plastic ring. It jammed halfway and had to be shaken out. The third ring did not even enter. The crier let each one fall to the ground. "False," the commander said, his voice flat and heavy. "You waste royal time." Chairman Okoro quickly laughed. Too loud. "My daughter was only trying to help, Commander. The girls are excited. It is a festival. You know how children are." "Children do not play with the throne," the commander replied. He looked over the crowd, his eyes hard. "The king walked among you in rags to see who still has a heart. He lost his signet 1 week ago in this district. If it is not returned tonight, the palace will seal Umweze from all royal projects. No hospital, no road, no youth funds. You will explain to your sons why." The elders at the front exchanged looks. Old Pa Joseph, who had lost his son in the pipeline fire last year, tightened his grip on his walking stick. The youth leader, Emeka Jr., who sold recharge cards like Lovett once did, muttered, "If they seal us, Shell will not come back to the table." Everyone knew the palace signet was more than gold. It was the voice of the king on paper. Without it, no land agreement could be signed, no compensation paid, no hospital foundation laid. The kingdom had waited 10 years for that hospital. A cold fear moved through the people like wind. The women who had laughed at Adanna minutes earlier now clutched their wrappers. The men who had cheered Chioma looked at their feet. This was no longer a game. Adanna felt the world tilt. The new hospital. That was the project the radio had talked about for months. A real hospital with doctors and nurses, not the chemist shop where her mother had died waiting for drugs. She had dreamed of working there in a white uniform. If the ring was not returned, the hospital would die before it was born. She saw it so clearly it hurt. White walls, a maternity ward where mothers did not die on benches, a small room with her name on a tag, Nurse Adanna Lovett. She remembered the night her mother died at UPTH. The nurse on duty, crying because there were only 2 oxygen tanks for 6 patients. Lovett had held her hand and whispered, "Help them, Adanna." That promise had lived inside her longer than hunger. If the hospital died tonight because a ring stayed hidden in a poor girl's fist, her mother's last whisper would die with it. She opened her mouth, then closed it. Fear locked her throat. She could still feel Chioma's hand on her chest from the push. She could hear the laughter still ringing in her ears. Who would believe a house girl in rags? They would say she stole it. They would say she was lying for attention. They would beat her and throw her out. From the side of the crowd, Mama Nkechi caught her eye. The old Akara seller gave a tiny nod, her hands folded as if in prayer. She mouthed, "Nuame, my child." Her knees wanted to fold. The dust under her feet felt unsteady. She could still feel the sting of Chioma's palm on her chest, the exact spot where her heart now hammered. She wanted to run to the cassava farm and hide until the SUVs left. She wanted to be invisible again, but invisibility had never saved her. It had only made it easier for people to step on her. Adanna thought of her mother. Do not let the world make you hard. She thought of Mr. Emeka's voice on the phone last Sunday. Adanna, keep your notes clean. Your time will come. She thought of the old man at the market. Gold does not rust. She took one small step forward. Her bare foot pressed into the dust. Chioma saw it. Chioma always saw anything that threatened her spotlight. Her eyes dropped to Adanna's closed fist. Look at her, Chioma screeched, pointing. The thief is hiding something. She is always stealing in my mother's kitchen. Search her. The crowd turned like one body. The same people who had laughed now looked hungry for a new shame. Chairman Okoro seized the moment. Commander, this girl is not from here. She came from Port Harcourt to serve my household. We have had spoons missing. Search her well. Adanna's stomach dropped. Betrayal has a taste. It tastes like metal. It was not the first time they had called her thief. 2 weeks earlier, Chioma's gold earrings went missing after Adanna swept the room. The whole house gathered. Auntie Ifeoma slapped her once. Not hard, but the shame was hard. Later, the earrings were found in Chioma's own makeup bag, but no one apologized. No one ever apologized to the girl in rags. That memory burned hotter than the guard's grip. 2 guards moved fast. They grabbed her arms. Their hands were rough. One pulled her into the center of the circle where the dust was brightest and everyone could see. Leave me, Adanna whispered, but her voice broke. Open your hands, the commander ordered. Adanna opened her right hand. It was empty, shaking. She kept her left fist closed tight around the ring, tucked against her thigh. The guard with the scar yanked her small Ghana must-go bag from the ground and poured it out. 2 faded dresses fell out. A worn Bible with pages soft from use. Inside the Bible, folded carefully, Her admission letter from the School of Nursing, LMA. The guard picked it up, read it upside down, and hissed, "Nurse, you?" The crowd laughed again, but it was a nervous laugh now. The guard with the scar looked at the admission letter again, then folded it carefully, too carefully for a soldier, and slipped it back into her Bible. He did not look at Chioma. He looked at the chairman, and his jaw tightened. For a moment, Adanna thought she saw disgust flash across his face, the way a man looks when he has watched a lie grow too long. The other guard found her Milo tin. He shook it. The coins rattled. He pried it open and poured the money into his palm. 2,850 naira in small notes and coins. "Look at the thief's treasure," Chioma sang. "Even a beggar has more." Mama Nkechi pushed forward. "She is not a thief. She saved that money for school." A guard shoved Mama Nkechi back with his rifle butt. Not hard, just enough. The old woman stumbled. Adanna cried out. "Enough," the commander said. He stared at Adanna's left fist. "Open it." Adanna shook her head. Tears were running now, hot and fast. She was not crying because of the pain in her arms. She was crying because every time she tried to stand, the world found a new way to push her down. "I am not a thief," she said, louder this time. "I did not steal anything." "Then open your hand," the commander said. She could not. If she opened it now, in this shame, with Chioma filming on her phone and the chairman smiling, they would say she stole it from the king. They would say she picked his pocket at the market. No one would believe a kind act. They only believed in rags. In her head, her mother's voice came back clear, from the day Lovett sewed the hidden pocket into her first school uniform. Adanna had been 6. "Mama, why are you sewing inside?" she had asked. Lovett had smiled, threading the needle with her teeth. "Because the world will look at your outside and judge you. So you keep your future where they cannot see it. You keep it close to your heart. The hidden pocket." The ring was in that pocket now, pressed through the cloth into her palm. The commander stepped closer. He was so tall, Adanna had to look up. The scar on his cheek pulled when he frowned. "You remind me of someone," he said quietly, so only she could hear. "The way you stand even while shaking." Adanna blinked through tears. She did not understand. He reached for her left wrist. She flinched, but did not pull away. He did not pry her fingers. He just looked at her closed fist, then at her face, then at the small torn shoulder of her dress where the blue cotton had given way. For a strange second, his hard eyes softened. "Who taught you to give with 2 hands?" he asked. Adanna's breath caught. How did he know? She had not told anyone about the market except in her prayers. She started. Chioma cut in, loud and sharp. "Commander, she's wasting your time. Beat her and let us continue dancing." Chairman Okoro nodded. "Discipline these village girls, or they will never learn." The commander ignored them. He kept his eyes on Adanna. "Answer me, girl. Who taught you?" "My mother," Adanna whispered. "She said you give to elders with both hands, or you don't give at all." Something shifted in the commander's face. He released her wrist and stepped back 1 pace. He turned to the town crier and spoke in a low voice that Adanna could not hear. The crier's eyes widened. The crowd sensed a change and leaned in. Phones were up. Even the DJ had stopped the music completely. Chioma tried to laugh to break the silence, but it came out thin. She looked at her father for help, but Chairman Okoro was already sweating through his isiagu. He had built his campaign on bringing the palace closer to Omoeze. If the king left angry tonight, his seat would crumble before the next election. He stared at Adanna like she was a problem he could pay someone to remove. Chioma felt the attention slipping and panicked. She lunged forward and grabbed Adanna's left arm, trying to force her fingers open. "Let us see. Thief!" Adanna twisted, holding on. The 2 girls struggled in the dust, rags against sequins. The ring pressed harder into Adanna's skin. Stop! The commander roared. A baby cried somewhere and was quickly hushed. The generator coughed. The string lights flickered once, as if the village itself held its breath. No one dared speak because the king's car door had never opened in Umweze in living memory. Even the chiefs had to travel to the palace. For him to come here in the night, in the dust, meant something sacred was happening. But before the guards could separate them, a new sound cut through the square. A car door opened with a soft, heavy thud. Not a slam, a royal sound. Everyone turned. The middle black SUV, the one with the small flag on the hood, had opened. A man stepped out slowly, leaning on a carved walking stick. He was not in uniform. He wore a simple white kaftan, clean and pressed, and a red cap. His beard was trimmed now. His feet were no longer swollen, but his eyes were the same, clear and piercing, even from a distance. It was the old man from Nko Market, the beggar. The square went completely still. Even the cricket stopped. Chairman Okoro dropped to his knees so fast his wrapper tore. Igwe! He shouted. His Royal Majesty! The royal guards snapped to attention and slammed their rifles to their chests. The town crier fell prostrate, forehead to dust. Chioma froze with her hand still on Adanna's wrist, her mouth open. Adanna stared, her heart stopping and starting again. The man looked at no one else. He walked straight through the crowd that parted like water, his walking stick tapping once, twice, on the hard earth, until he stood 2 feet in front of Adanna. Adanna felt the weight of every eye. Not just mocking now, but waiting. The kind of waiting that decides if a person rises or is buried. She swallowed the copper taste of fear. Her palm throbbed around gold. He looked at her torn dress. He looked at her closed fist. He looked at her eyes red from crying. And then, in front of the entire village that had mocked her rags, the king smiled, just a little, the same way he had smiled when she gave him more in the dust. Adanna, he said, her name deep and warm in his throat. Father's daughter, did you keep your promise? The ring burned hot in her palm. Chioma's fingers slipped off her arm. Mama Nkechi covered her mouth with both hands. The commander bowed his head. Adanna opened her mouth to answer, but no sound came, because in that moment she understood that her whole life was about to change, and she was terrified of what it would cost. Adanna could not answer. The king's question hung in the air like smoke. Did you keep your promise? His voice was not loud, but the whole square heard it because every other sound had died. Her throat was dry. Her left hand was still closed, so tight her nails cut her palm. She looked up at the man who had been a beggar in the dust at Nko Market, and now stood before her in a clean white kaftan with a red cap that caught the light. His eyes were the same, kind and sharp at once. She nodded once, small and broken. Slowly, as if her fingers were learning how to move again, she opened her fist. The signet ring lay in the center of her palm. The gold was dark from her sweat, but the red stone caught the string lights and threw them back. The leopard head, carved deep, stared out at the crowd. It was heavy, real. It did not look like something a girl in rags should hold. The leopard's eyes were tiny chips of red glass that seemed to breathe. The band was thick, scratched from years of use, warm from being hidden against her skin. For 7 days she had felt it press into her palm while she washed plates, while she fetched water, while she slept on the mats. Now it lay open, and the light made it look alive. A collective breath left the people. Someone dropped a phone. It hit the dust with a dull thud. The guard commander, with the scar, stared at the ring for 1 heartbeat, then 2. Then he went down on 1 knee, his rifle across his chest, his head bowed so low, his forehead nearly touched Adanna's bare foot. Igwe, he shouted. The seal leaves. The town crier lifted the brass staff with both hands and screamed. The leopard has found its mouth. His voice cracked. One by one, the royal guard dropped to their knees. The sound of their boots hitting the earth was like drums. The kneeling spread like a wave. Old women who had laughed at her rags earlier bent their backs. Young boys who had filmed her shame lowered their phones. The dust puffed up around the guard's knees. Chioma's knees buckled, but she caught herself on her father's arm. Her face suddenly pale under her makeup. Chioma stumbled backward. Her hand slipped off Adanna's arm, as if the skin burned. Her sequined gown suddenly looked cheap under the lights. Her mouth opened, but no sound came. Chairman Okoro, still on his knees, tried to smile. His face was wet with sweat. Wonderful, he said, too quickly. Our village girl, we raised her well. Nobody looked at him. The king did not touch the ring at first. He looked at Adanna's palm, at the deep mark the leopard had pressed into her skin. You carried it for 7 days, he said softly, in a hidden pocket, while they mocked you, while they called you thief. Adanna's tears fell onto the gold. Adanna felt the ring leave her palm, and a strange lightness followed, as if a weight she did not know she carried had lifted. The king's fingers were steady, respectful, not greedy. He did not snatch, he received. In that small movement, she understood the difference between power and force, and why the market boy's kick had hurt the king less than the girl's kindness had healed him. The king gently lifted the ring with 2 fingers. He turned to the crier and slid it into the hollow at the top of the brass staff. It fit perfectly, as if the metal remembered it. He turned the ring once to the right. A soft click echoed. The staff seemed to sigh. It is true, the crier wept. The king's hand is restored. The king lifted the staff high. The red stone flashed. 1 week ago, I walked from this palace without guards, the king said, turning slowly so everyone could hear. I wore rags. I sat in your market. At Unko, a boy kicked me. A woman spat near my feet. Only 1 person knelt. A girl who had not eaten herself bought me moi and water with the last of her transport money. She gave with 2 hands, the way her mother taught her. I sat by the suya stand, and a man told me to move because my smell would chase customers. The king continued. I went to the borehole, and a girl poured her leftover water on the ground rather than give me a sip. At the yam store, your market boy kicked my leg. Only this child saw a person, not a problem. She did not ask my name or my village. She gave because her mother taught her that dignity is not bought. He looked down at Adanna. She asked for nothing. I gave her my trust. I told her to keep the signet for 7 days. If I did not return, it was hers to bring forward. Mama Nkechi covered her face and sobbed aloud. Old Pa Joseph raised his walking stick and shouted, Eze! The youth leader, Emeka Jr., filmed with shaking hands. Adanna felt dizzy. The dust, the lights, the knees around her, it all spun. The king placed his hand lightly on her shoulder. His palm was warm, the same warmth she remembered from the market. By the decree I spoke tonight, the bearer of the true signet shall have 1 royal wish, he said. Anything within the power of this throne. Speak, Adanna, father's daughter. What is your heart? The square held its breath again. Adanna's mind raced. For 6 years she had carried 1 wish in her Milo tin. Pay school fees, wear white, become Nurse Adanna. She could ask for that now, and the king would build her a school himself. She thought of her mother at UPTH, holding her hand, whispering, help them. She thought of the hospital the commander had spoken of, the one that would die without the seal. She thought of the girls at the stream who whispered about her rags, girls who would never see a classroom if their fathers chose bride price over books. She remembered the nights at UPTH when the power cut and the nurses used phone torches to find veins. Her mother had squeezed her hand and said help them even when there is no light. She remembered Mr. Emeka giving her his only textbook for JAMB, saying return it when you wear white. She remembered Amina and Joy at the village stream, both bright. Both pulled out of school at 14 because their fathers needed bride price for a motorcycle. If she asked for only herself, she would carry their faces forever. A dark thought flickered, quick and hot. She could ask for Chioma's family to lose everything. She could ask for Chairman Okoro to be removed. She could ask for the crowd to kneel the way she had knelt in dust. The thought felt sweet for 1 second. Then she heard her mother's voice again, clear inside the noise. Do not let the world make you hard. Adanna's heart beat like a drum, matching the village drums. She was afraid and grateful at once. She swallowed. Her voice came out thin at first, then stronger. My wish is not for me, Your Majesty, she said. Chioma's head snapped up. I wish for the general hospital you promised to Moise to be built now, not next year, Adanna said. With enough beds and oxygen and nurses who do not have to choose who lives. And I wish for 10 full scholarships every year for girls in this village who have admission but no money so they can wear white uniforms too. Silence. Then, a sound rolled from the back, from the women at the edge. It was not a cheer, it was a cry. Mama Nkechi fell to her knees, hands raised. God of the poor. Pa Joseph lifted his stick and shouted praise to God. Emeka Jr., the recharge card boy, wept openly and shouted her name. The women who sold pepper and okra at the junction ululated a high sound that cut through the drums. Even the DJ's cousin, who had laughed loudest, took off his cap. Only Chairman Okoro's people stayed silent, their smiles tight like new shoes. The king stared at Adanna for a long time. His eyes shone. You asked for bread for others while you were hungry, he said quietly. That is why the ring stayed warm in your hand. When the king spoke of her wish, the square changed again. It was no longer about gold or a throne. It was about a girl who had slept on a kitchen floor, asking for doors for others. Some men looked away, ashamed of the jokes they had made. Some mothers pulled their daughters close and whispered, See, this is how you carry yourself. The air felt heavier, not with fear now, but with something like hope pressing down on everyone at once. He turned to the commander. Record it. The Umweze General Hospital Foundation will be laid in 7 market days. The palace will fund it. And the Adanna Lovett Scholarship for Village Nurses will begin this year with 10 girls. Let the first name be Adanna herself. Adanna gasped. Her legs nearly gave way. The commander caught her elbow gently. The king bent slightly so his eyes were level with hers. You have your father's steady hands, he said, so quiet only she and the commander heard. I knew him once, before the rig accident. He would be proud that his daughter did not use a crown to crush ants. Adanna's breath caught. No one had spoken of her father with honor in 13 years. Finally, the crowd erupted. People shouted, clapped, wept. Phones flashed. The DJ, forgetting himself, let the drums roll once in celebration. Chioma stood frozen in the middle of the noise. Her father grabbed her wrist and forced her to kneel. Bow, he hissed. Bow now, or we are finished. Chioma dropped clumsily, her sequins scratching the dust. Her eyes were red, but not with sorrow, with fear. Chioma watched the king listen to Adanna and her hands curled into fists. The same hands that had pushed Adanna out of the dance now trembled. She realized the crowd was no longer hers, and that loss felt sharper than any insult she had ever given. The king raised his hand for quiet. It came slowly. There is one more thing, he said. A heart like this must be trained, not wasted in kitchens. Adanna will come to the palace at Enugu. She will complete her nursing under royal sponsorship. She will live under my protection. Chairman Okoro clapped too hard. A great honor. Our daughter. Adanna felt the word tilt again, but this time toward light. Palace. School. White uniform. Her mother's dream breathing. Then a voice cut from the side, old and sharp. Tradition forbids it. An elder in a deep purple isiago stepped forward, leaning on a staff topped with cowries. He was of the king's council. His face was lined and stern. The signet bearer must be of clean blood and clean death, the elder said. The throne cannot lift a debtor's child. It stains the seal. The elder tapped his carry staff twice. Our law is older than cars and hospitals, he said. When the great signet was lost by Eze Okoro I, a debtor's son tried to claim it and the land bled for 7 years. The throne must be clean or the people pay. No scholarship, no palace bed, until the books are clear. A cold ripple went through the joy. Chairman Okoro's eyes lit up. He stood quickly, brushing dust from his knees. My Lord Elder speaks wisdom, he said smoothly. In fact, I have the records here. He snapped his fingers, and an aide ran forward with a brown file. The girl's late mother, Lovis, took a local government trader's loan in Port Harcourt 8 years ago, 20,000 naira. With interest, penalties, it remains unpaid. The debt passes to the child. Chairman Okoro opened the file with a flourish. Inside was a photocopy of a loan form with Lovett's name signed in shaky blue ink, dated 8 years ago, 20,000 naira from the Diobu Traders Cooperative, stamped unpaid, with red interest numbers climbing down the page like ants. Adanna had never seen her mother's handwriting look so tired. Adanna stared. What? My mother never. Silence, the elder barked. The palace does not reward debt. Mama Nkechi pushed forward again, shaking. That is a lie. Lovett paid every kobo. I was with her. The commander frowned at the chairman. You bring this now? The commander took the file, glanced at it, and handed it back without reading. His scar pulled tight. We will verify every ink, he told the chairman coldly. The palace does not take paper from men who push children. Chairman Okoro spread his hands, oily, with innocence. I only protect the throne's purity, Commander. Let the girl clear her mother's name first, then she can enter the palace. The king looked at Adanna, then at the file, then at the chairman. His face gave nothing away. We will settle this at sunrise in the palace court, the king said finally. Bring your records, chairman. Bring your witnesses, Mama. The truth does not fear light. He turned to Adanna. Until then, you are under royal guard. 2 guards stepped to her sides, not to hold her, but to shield her. The drum started again, low and uncertain. People parted as the king guided Adanna toward the black SUV, his hand still light on her shoulder. The night air smelled of dust and roasted corn and perfume. The SUV's leather seat glowed under the inside light. Adanna's bare feet left faint prints in the dust as she walked. Chioma scrambled up from the dust and grabbed the hem of Adanna's torn dress as she passed. Her fingers dug in. Adanna looked down. Chioma's makeup was ruined, her eyes wet. For a second, Adanna thought she would apologize. Then Chioma leaned close, her voice a poison whisper only Adanna could hear over the drums. You think a ring cleans rags? She hissed. Tomorrow at the palace, they will learn what your mother really did in Port Harcourt. And when they throw you out, I will be there to laugh louder. She let go. Adanna's blood went cold. The SUV door was open. The king was waiting. The whole village watched her rise. But as she lifted her foot to step into a new life, Chioma's words sank like stones into her stomach, because Adanna did not know what her mother had done, and she was suddenly terrified that the debt was not money at all. Sunrise came to the palace at Enugu like a clean cloth. The court was not a big hall with gold chairs the way Adanna had imagined from television. It was a wide open veranda with white pillars, a low wooden throne, and mats on the cool stone floor. Morning air smelled of rain and frangipani. Birds called from the udala trees beyond the wall. Adanna sat on the edge of a mat in a simple blue dress Mama Nkechi had borrowed from her own daughter. It was not new, but it was clean and it fit. Her hair was packed in fresh cornrows. Two royal guards stood behind her, not touching her, just there. Her hands would not stop shaking. Across the veranda, Chairman Okoro arrived with 3 aides, carrying files and a small laptop. He wore a fresh isiagu and walked like a man who had already won. Chioma followed him in a plain black dress, no sequins, no makeup. Her eyes were swollen. She did not look at Adanna. Chairman Okoro tapped his phone screen as if checking stocks. He did not look at his daughter. Chioma sat with her shoulders curled, picking at the hem of her dress. For the first time, Adanna saw not the queen bee but a girl who had been taught that love was applause. The king entered without announcement, leaning on the same carved walking stick from the square. He sat on the low throne. The elder with the cowrie staff sat to his right. The commander with the scar stood to his left, holding the brown file from last night. Mama Nkechi came in last, clutching a faded wrapper bundle to her chest like a baby. Behind her, to Adanna's shock, walked Mr. Emeka from Port Harcourt, his glasses taped, his shirt ironed, carrying a dusty school notebook. Adanna stood up without thinking. Sir? Mr. Emeka smiled tiredly. You think I would let my small brain face a palace alone? The king raised his hand. We are here for truth, not titles. Chairman, speak. Chairman Okoro bowed low, then opened his laptop. Your Majesty, tradition is clear. The throne must be clean. Loveth, mother of this girl, collected 20,000 naira from Diobu Traders Cooperative 8 years ago. She signed here. He held up the photocopy from last night. It was never repaid. With interest, it is now 180,000. A debtor's child cannot receive royal scholarship. It will stain your good name. He said it smooth, like reading news. Adanna felt her stomach turn. The words from Chioma last night burned again. Tomorrow they will learn what your mother really did. She wanted to disappear into the floor. The elder nodded. Show proof of payment if you have it. Mama Nkechi stepped forward, knees trembling. She knelt and opened her wrapper bundle. Inside were 3 things: a yellowed receipt, stamped paid, a small exercise book with Lovett's handwriting, and a hospital card with a child's name. My lord, Mama Nkechi said, her voice shaking but clear. Lovett did borrow that money, not for wrapper or phone. For medicine. Mama Nkechi's voice broke as she described the night the child burned with fever. Lovett had wrapped the girl in wet cloths, singing old songs to keep her calm. When the medicine finished, Lovett walked 3 streets at midnight to find a nurse, using the loan money she had just collected that morning. She did not sleep for 3 days. The court went quiet. In 2017, during the unrest, Palace guards brought a small girl to our yard in Diobu. Mama Nkechi continued. They said hide her. Do not tell anyone. She was burning with fever. The clinic had no drugs. Lovett took that trader loan the same day. 20,000. She bought antibiotics, paracetamol, food, and paid a nurse to come at night. Mr. Emeka opened his notebook. I was her daughter's teacher. Lovett came to me to borrow money for JAMB form. I gave her 5,000. She returned it 3 days later, crying, saying the child needed it more. She wrote everything here. He held up the exercise book. Page after page listed small amounts. Drugs, 8,500. Nurse, 4,000. Milk, 2,000. At the bottom, in shaky blue ink, paid in full to cooperative, 12 November 2017. Signed by the secretary. Mr. Emeka turned the pages slowly. Here, he said, pointing to blue ink. Loveth wrote, I will pay the cooperative next month after market. And here, a month later, paid. Thank God. The handwriting was tired but proud. He had kept the book because Lovett once told him, If anything happens to me, let my daughter know I tried to be honest. The commander took the receipt and held it to the light. He then took the chairman's photocopy and held both side by side. The commander took a small magnifying glass from his pocket. He compared the two stamps under the morning light. The chairman's stamp had fresh oil around the edges, and the date numbers were printed with a printer model released only last year. The old receipt had the faded purple of the cooperative's old manual stamp. He looked up. Forgery, he said simply. This stamp on the chairman's copy is fresh, he said. The ink is still shiny. The receipt from Mama is old. The paper has cracked. Chairman Okoro laughed nervously. Old women keep anything. Who was the child? The king asked quietly. Mama Nkechi looked at the hospital card. Her name was Zina. She called her auntie, Ne. She stayed 3 weeks. When the fever broke, guards took her back at night. The king went very still. The elder's cowrie staff slipped in his hand. Zina, the king whispered. My sister's daughter. The king closed his eyes for a long moment. When he opened them, they were wet. My sister died 2 years later, he said softly. But Zina lived because a woman in Diobu chose medicine over profit. We sent money through the chairman's office. It never arrived. We thought Loveth refused it out of pride. He stood slowly. During the crisis, we hid my sister's only child in the city because militants were burning royal houses. We sent 2 guards. They returned saying a market woman saved her with her own money. We sent a repayment through the local government. It never reached her. He turned to the commander. Find the guard who took that child. The commander spoke into his radio. 2 minutes later, an older guard was brought in, now retired, leaning on his stick. He looked at Mama Nkechi and his eyes filled. That is her, he said, pointing. That is the woman who gave me water with 2 hands while I held the child. She refused gold. She said, help them. The retired guard knelt with difficulty. He touched the edge of Mama Nkechi's wrapper as if to be sure she was real. You gave me gari and water when I was afraid the child would die in my arms, he said. You told me a child is a child, whether palace or gutter. The court was silent enough to hear a lizard run. Adanna covered her mouth. Help them. Her mother's words. The king walked down the 2 steps from his throne and stood before Adanna. He took her hands in his. Your mother saved royal blood and asked for nothing, he said, his voice thick. The palace owed her, not the other way. The money we sent was stolen on the road by men working for. He looked at Chairman Okoro. For the local government chairman at that time. Chairman Okoro's father, the veranda gasped. A murmur rose like wind through corn. Market women who had come to watch hissed. The youth leader Emeka Jr. shouted, Thief! Chairman Okoro tried to speak, but his voice cracked. 2 guards lifted him by the arms. Not rough, but firm. The way you remove something spoiled from clean food. The king did not shout. He did not need to. Strip him of his title, he said. Take him to the council for theft, forgery, and endangering the kingdom's children. Let the law be clean. Chioma made a small sound and fell to her knees, not because her father pulled her, but because her legs gave way. She crawled forward through the space between them, her black dress gathering dust, and stopped at Adanna's feet. Everyone expected drama. Chioma did not perform. I am sorry, she whispered, tears cutting through her foundation. I mocked you because my father told me poor people are lazy. I filmed you because I wanted likes. I pushed you because I was afraid if people saw you, they would not see me. She pressed her forehead to the stone. Please, I have nothing now. Adanna felt the old anger rise, hot and fast. She could ask the king to send Chioma away, to let her feel the mat by the kitchen. The thought sat on her tongue. Then she saw Mama Nkechi's hand on her shoulder, light as a prayer. She remembered the night she gave moi moi to a beggar. Kindness had brought her here, not vengeance. Adanna looked down at the girl who had pushed her out of the dance circle. She remembered the sting of that hand on her chest. She remembered the laughter. She also remembered her mother's voice that night in the hospital. Do not let the world make you hard. She bent slowly and lifted Chioma by the elbows. Her own hands were steady now. Stand up, Adanna said. Rags do not clean with revenge. Chioma sobbed once, loud and broken. The king washed, then nodded to the elder. The elder tapped his staff once. By the truth spoken at sunrise, the debt is cleared. The elder declared. The name Lovett is clean. The daughter is clean. The king turned to the court. The Umweze General Hospital will be built. The Adanna Lovett Scholarship will stand. And this child, he placed a hand on Adanna's head, will train as a nurse under the palace, as promised. The king stood. Let it be written, he said. The hospital will bear your mother's name on its maternity wing. The scholarship will bear your name. And no child in this kingdom will be called debtor for their parents' honesty. He slipped a thin gold chain over Adanna's head. The signet ring hung from it, no longer a seal, now a keepsake. Gold does not rust, he whispered. 3 months later, the harmattan dust had settled. The foundation stone for the hospital was laid on the same red earth where the harvest festival had been. A white canopy stood over plastic chairs. Bricklayers sang as they worked. The smell of cement mixed with roasting corn from vendors. Adanna walked the site in her student uniform, clipboard in hand, checking the list of drugs the palace had already supplied. Her white shoes were dusty within minutes, and she did not mind. Adanna walked across the sand in a crisp white student nurse uniform, her cap pinned neatly, her shoes shining. Mama Nkechi walked beside her, crying and laughing at once, adjusting her collar every few steps. Mr. Emeka stood by the canopy, filming on his old phone, his taped glasses flashing in the sun. At the edge of the crowd, Chioma stood in a plain volunteer vest, handing sachets of cold water to workers. No weave, no sequins. When Adanna passed, Chioma offered water with 2 hands. Chioma tied her hair back with a simple rubber band. She carried a cooler of water on her head, the way village girls do, offering it first to the oldest workers. When a small boy tripped near the cement mixer, she lifted him, cleaned his knee, and sang to stop his crying. No one filmed her. Adanna took it the same way. Thank you. Chioma nodded, eyes down, but not ashamed, learning. The king was not on a throne. He stood among the elders in a simple cap, watching. When Adanna stopped to check the blood pressure of an old woman who had once laughed at her rags, the commander with the scar stepped forward and bowed his head slightly, not to a ring, but to the nurse. Later, when the sun was low, Adanna went alone to the small cemetery behind St. Mary's in Diobo. She knelt at a plain grave with a wooden cross that read Loveth 1979 to 2019. She placed her new white cap on the earth. Mama, she whispered, I wore white today. I helped them. I did not become hard. At the cemetery, Adanna pulled weeds from around the wooden cross with her own hands. She told her mother about the first injection she had practiced on an orange, about Mama Nkechi's new stall near the hospital gate, about Mr. Emeka finally getting new glasses from the palace. She laughed when a goat tried to eat her cap. The wind moved through the udala leaves. Somewhere a child laughed. Adanna stood, the gold ring warm against her chest, and walked back toward the road where a keke waited to take her to the hospital site. The village that once mocked her rags now called her nurse Adanna. Women waved. Children ran beside her shouting, Auntie Nurse! At the junction, the drums from a small celebration started again. This time, when the circle opened, hands reached for her, not to push, but to pull her in. The dance at the junction that evening was not for a festival. It was for a borehole the community had fixed together. When the circle opened, old Pa Joseph called her name. Adanna hesitated, remembering the push. Then Chioma stepped forward and held out her hand, palm up, An invitation, not a command. Adanna took it. They stepped into the dust together, and the drums rose to meet them. She felt the dust soft under her shoes, the same dust that had stung her bare feet the night she was pushed. The circle moved around her, wrappers swelling, children clapping. For a moment, she saw her 11-year-old self watching from the edge, and she smiled at that girl, silently promising her that the waiting was over. The music was not loud, but it filled every empty place inside her. Mama Nkechi ululated, Mr. Emeka clapped with both hands, and even the commander smiled, a rare softening of his scarred cheek. The king watched and whispered to the elder, "This is why thrones endure." Adanna stepped into the middle of the dance, her white uniform bright against the red dust, and for the first time since she was 11, she danced without shaking, because the girl who had carried a secret ring in a hidden pocket had finally learned that the greatest royalty is not gold on your hand, but kindness that stays soft even after the world tries to make you hard.